Right then, guys, don't forget we are sponsored by Super 6. Make sure you're checking out Super 6 links in the description below. Download the app, get involved. 6 predictions, you could win £250,000. We also have our own league as well. The code is Club23. They've set us another little debate at the Super 6 HQ, and they want us to know, should Kobbie Mainoo be starting for England? We had a little bit of a debate on the live stream at the weekend on this one, so let's have a proper one now. Kobbie Mainoo, should he start for England? Let's go to the England fans on my left.
Yeah, I think he has to start. I think he is the only real expert in his position. And therefore, I think he starts because that is a position that England have trouble in. And when you think about England, the way that we are at the moment, we're so blessed. There aren't many problem positions. I mean, you could argue the keeper, you could argue the second centre-half, you can argue this position that I believe Mainoo means isn't a problem, and then I guess you argue the manager. 4 issues in an entire squad. That is a gift. That is unbelievable. That is so impressive for this England side. But what I think, look, I wouldn't be making a case for Mainoo. I think he's so young and so raw. I wouldn't be making a case for him if he played in basically any position on the pitch, apart from the position that he plays in. Because the position that he plays in is such a problem position. It's such an important position. It's integral. If you want to win, you need somebody to be brilliant in that position. And he is the only expert. So, when people go, well, Conor Gallagher could play there. Or maybe James Ward-Prowse could play there. Or maybe you swap it around a bit and you bring Declan Rice back. All of that is finding, what do they call it? Square pegs, round holes. Yeah. Whereas I think Kobbie Mainoo means that Declan Rice can do what he wants to do. It means that Jude Bellingham can do what he wants to do. And Kobbie Mainoo he is that unpredictable young player that I think is so valuable in European tournaments.
Yeah, and the England narrative is an issue because you're playing weaker sides in the group. England are always going to beat these guys. It's not about if he starts against Serbia, it's about how does he fit in against Germany. And I think you have to sacrifice Phil Foden, and it's crazy, or even James Maddison shouts for Kobbie Mainoo in midfield, a bit like how Jorginho sits deep. Let's Declan Rice go forward and Jude Bellingham, Foden on one of the wings with Saka and Kane. Because I love Grealish on the wing, but you play Phil Foden, you can come into midfield. But Kobbie Mainoo is more important than Phil Foden in big games.
A way to accommodate
Answer my question,
though.
so I didn't need to.
A way to accommodate would be you ask Jude Bellingham to play slightly deeper. You allow Phil Foden to play as the 10, because Jude Bellingham has played deeper before. You allow Jude Bellingham to play deeper. You ask Declan Rice to play his former position as well. And that way you have a midfield 3. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? You have a midfield 3 of Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden.
I just see a narrative where if we play France, they find space behind Bellingham because he spent a whole season being the main man, going forward, arriving in the box. Plus it's Gareth Southgate.
England have to use him correctly, and asking Bellingham to play deep or deeper isn't what he's good for. Why right now he's one of the best players in the world and scoring all these goals. He's doing that because he's playing almost.
But you're going to have to do that, or you're going to have to ask Phil Foden to play as a winger, which again,
I think Phil Foden. Look, I know we're kind of giving our opinions here, but England will not play a number 10. Like
no,
Bellingham will play as an 8 who's getting further forward, but he shouldn't be one of 2 with Foden ahead of him because you're asking for recipe for disaster. You get away with it against some crap teams, but once you come up against the biggies, that's when you're going to need him to be playing in his proper position. Foden goes out on the left. I kind of agree on that. But I think, Kobbie Mainoo has to play for England.
You'd like to see a diamond, wouldn't you?
He has to start the big games, I think. If you want Jude Bellingham to be free, if you want Declan Rice, who is a holder, but he also occupies positions. If you want them both to play in their best positions, Kobbie Mainoo is the key to unlocking that.
Yeah, I think he has to play. There's also something that's always very inspiring about a young, unpredictable player going to a tournament in the way that Wayne Rooney went and scored those goals against Croatia, or Michael Owen burst onto the scene, going around Pochettino and all that. Like, I think that those players, Gazza did it in 1990. There is something brilliant about taking effectively a kid, a child, and allowing them to have a platform to express themselves at the highest level.
I think as well, they're not weighed down by previous failures, previous things.
Or when we talk about people will be very forgiving to him. England fans who are,
when we talk about him though, like I did my review at the weekend for the Liverpool game, and I was like, Wayne Rooney's the greatest teenager I've seen in a United shirt, and I don't think that will change for a long time. And then I saw Mason Green, who's obviously not at the club for obvious reasons, but he was like, since Rooney was the best teenager. But when I look at Kobbie Mainoo, I don't think I've ever seen a more mature, younger player in terms of the way he's playing. Like, he always seems to find space. He always he makes a few mistakes, but he always seems to pick the right pass, the right weight of pass.
Got a great eye for a goal as well.
People will put pressure on him and he'll just find his way out of there. He won't panic. And then, you look at his goal against Wolves. Look at his goal against Liverpool.
Wasn't it?
Look at his goal against Liverpool. Like,
you didn't expect that as well. That's amazing.
Bro, I don't expect him to score.
You watch him week in, week out. So imagine you're playing against Spain and they don't really know how to operate against someone like that.
Yeah.
There's a shock factor. You're a United fan. You didn't know he's capable of doing that against Liverpool. Exactly. He's fantastic, man.
Yeah,
I'm the biggest Mainoo fan going.
I think it has
except for United fans.
I think it has to be.
Get off the bandwagon.
I think it does have to be Mainoo, though. I just don't really see how it cannot be him.
So what's the perfect midfield? I know we kind of alluded to a few.
I think the perfect, the defense is a different issue. But if you go from midfield to attackers, I think it has to go Mainoo and Rice with Bellingham playing as a 10. I think Phil Foden has to play on a wing, but almost be given as a free role with Kane leading the line of Bukayo Saka in his obvious position.
Yeah. Are you going to double down on your wild opinion that you had on the stream?
But the more I think about it, Real Madrid are doing very, very well. They could win the Champions League this season. They're playing a diamond. They're playing a diamond, aren't they? Ancelotti, use a diamond with Kaká, Seedorf, and Pirlo. I'm not comparing you can play all these midfielders. You can play Kobbie Mainoo, you can play Rice, you can play Bellingham in that diamond with Foden as a 10 in a narrow diamond.
Oh,
you can.
Oh,
you can play two up front. You can play the diamond 4-4-2.
It was the opinion you had on the stream I was looking for.
What, Grealish and all these guys playing?
You said
Grealish.
No Kane, no Saka.
Cole Palmer linking up with
Kane,
Kane.
no Saka.
It was the players you left out, not the players that you put in.
No Kane, no Saka.
It wasn't about quality. It was about Kane's bottle energy, which is huge, which he's brought to Bayer Leverkusen, a club without ever winning the league title.
It's so crazy to call Kane a bottle. I just don't get it at all. I really don't.
Yeah.
But
it's mad, isn't it? Imagine being one of the best players in the world, and people like me and Boovy go,
it's crazy.
He's a loser.
I
agree with you.
I want him to win the league. I like the guy.
I don't want him to win the league. You always say you like the guy after you've killed him.
It's not like I'm trying to wind him up. He's a bottle, and he is a bottle.
Nah.
I don't think he is at all.
He's not won anything in his career.
No, but I mean
he's won less than Danny Simpson.
No, but there are circumstances. Okay, thank you very much to Super 6, and remember the winner of the Club League gets £100 Classic Football Shirts voucher. Thank you very much for playing. Make sure that you download the app. The link is in the description below. And remember, the winner of the Club League for the season will play for us against Pickside.
The code is Club 23.